It's Quest,
the adventure game podcast.
Jess, we have a guest today.
I could not be more excited to welcome this guest in. This is going to be, listeners, this is going to be a banger.
So today, joining us, Sara Benincasa is an author and comedian based in Chicago, Illinois. I chewed the city I have lived in for like 20 years. Chicago, Illinois.
Chicago.
Chicago.
Good.
Chicago.
We'll get that in post.
Among many things, she read a really great piece for the New York Times Magazine titled "An Agoraphobe Goes to the Grocery Store." I sincerely recommend this. It has some really wonderful illustrations if you look at the website version of it. She also wrote for the most recent season of Mystery Science Theater 3000 and has an upcoming biography titled Abraham fucking Lincoln. Sara, good to see you.
It's great to see you too. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Terrific.
I'm concerned because I know I'm breaking the fourth wall here for the listeners, or the third wall. But I am concerned that I can't see my waveform. Should I be concerned about that or no?
Don't be concerned.
My God, look at me trying to micromanage.
It's all right.
But we were just discussing before the show commenced the terror experience of realizing that like a track has not recorded. We know how it feels.
Yeah. I sometimes imagine having to redo an episode and what that would do to my soul if I ever had to like record an entire episode over again. In fact, I think I would lobby just to skip a week at that point, right? I mean, it's lightning in a bottle. We're never going to get this level of quality twice.
Mm-hmm. Jess, we recorded Space Quest 4 like 3 times.
We're going to get right someday. No.
All right. So Sara, you and I, like when we were talking before the podcast, this came up. So you wrote for like a season, I think it was 13 of Mystery Science Theater, right?
I think so. Yeah. I think so. It was the Jonah and Emily season.
Yeah.
And I love Jonah and I love Emily very much. So it was a joy.
And those seasons all note, I believe that the 13th season is now being uploaded to YouTube. So for those of you that weren't me and didn't pay like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, whenever that was, you can watch it on YouTube now. And that's
Thank
a really
you for paying my fee, my writer's fee.
Yeah.
They did a lot. That was just like an incredible crowdfunding experience where they brought the show back and did it on Netflix and did it independently the way that Joel wanted to, and it was really fun.
I just kickstarted the new season of Mystery Science Theater that's not out yet with Mike and that group, the Riff Tracks people. So
very cool.
Like that one I'm excited about because I've become a physical media dork again. Oh. So I went for the Blu-rays.
Oh, that's cool. I don't even know much about that one. Is it going to be, or is it just Mike, or who's going to be in it?
It's
in
Mike,
Abraham Lincoln Town.
It's Mike, Kevin, and Bill, the sci-fi era cast.
Oh, fantastic! That's awesome.
And they've reassembled the Minneapolis crew that did the show, and
that's dope.
Built they've look this up. They've built a new physical Satellite of Love set, like the old one.
Oh my God, I'm so out of the loop.
Yeah, I'm so excited because I'm just they're making it in the Twin Cities.
Well, that is, they're doing, MST3K, the Riff Tracks experiments. Yeah. That's dope. And, and Mary Jo Pell's doing it. That's so cool. Yeah. have been on another planet, but that's so cool. Yeah, Joel's rad. That whole crew is rad. They're awesome. And when
So,
we did it, they shot in Pennsylvania,
mhm.
outside Philly, and they worked with Monkey Boys Productions, if I remember correctly. And Monkey Boys do all the SNL like puppets, so
Oh,
they do really
Oh.
cool stuff. Yeah.
uh,
And that puppeteering world is so, there's so much crossover,
Oh, I
and you
bet.
get to, it's really fun. I do a show once a month in Chicago. Well, once a month ish, with a bird named Chad the Bird, who some would say is a puppet operated by my friend of 25 years, Josh Sigorin, but I would say is a puppet. It's called Class at Lincoln Lodge, where we are professors and we welcome adjunct professors to compete for tenure, i.e., our comedian friends who we've made do 10 minutes on a particular topic. And that's just a lot to say that puppets are cool and I enjoy working with them. And we went out to San Francisco Sketch Fest this year and had a great fucking show. And like the Brian Henson's like
oh,
whole
damn.
crew was there too.
Oh,
Whoa.
wow.
So Josh was over there hanging out with them, and it was at the after party. And I love Sketchfest. I've done it like, I guess I've done Sketchfest 3 times now, and that is really fun. But if you want a crowd that's going to have puppets and Jonathan Colton and Jean Grey and John Hodgman, you could probably take the Joko cruise, or you could go to Sketchfest at some point. It's so fun to like see so many old buddies. I do not
I
know the Hensons, however, I should say that. I do not know them.
so and then just to return to Mystery Science Theater for one moment, I said before the pod when we were talking a little more about Mystery Science Theater, I said I had a Joel story I like to tell. Which, for if you're listening, Joel was the creator of Mystery Science Theater and the
If
host.
they're listening and they don't know who Joel Hodgson is, what are they doing here?
Yeah.
Are they
I mean,
young?
come on.
What?
They definitely aren't young.
They
We've
aren't
looked at the
young.
numbers. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. Your elder millennial Gen X demo is, if
Yeah.
they don't know who Joel Hodgson is, I'll go to their house. I'll
There
show
you
up at
go.
their house. I'll follow them in my car. I'll be like, what are you doing? Why are you listening to Quest and you have no facility with the nomenclature of our great MST3K icons? That
That's
man
right.
made me hundreds of dollars.
Wow.
I mean, I think it was thousands, but what a
And I
wonderful,
sent
I really
in
like Joel.
50 of them.
And
Now
thank you for paying me, my little friends. The show was really fun because I know you have a tale about Joel, but first I
Yeah.
will say it was like fantasy baseball camp for comedians, but we were getting paid to be there. So it was great. So it was like me and all these late night writers who had off for the summer who did not need the money. Now they do, because now they're just getting rid of late night right and left. But then they did not a few years ago. And so it was great. It was just like I just incredibly funny writers, and watching increment by increment, like watching a shitty movie with a timer on. We would all have to watch it ourselves the previous evening. We would have a chunk of it to watch, to write jokes to, and then in the room all day we would do a Zoom room. We would watch it in 10-second chunks together.
Wow.
So there was a countdown clock on one side that counted down those 10 seconds that we were writing to live, and we could pitch our stuff live. And then there was another clock that was red, and that only popped up when there was space in between dialogue in the film, or like loud, like where there was any space where we could get one of the robots or the host to make a joke. It would be measured, even if it was like a quarter of a second, and you would try to, and then we would try in real time to like pitch the jokes that we had done the night before. It was joke ballet. Like, it was so precise. It was fantastic. Sorry, you go ahead. Tell me your
Oh
Joel
yeah,
story.
no. I love to hear that. That's fast. Like that's
It's good. We would do that all
that's
day,
the
and
shit
it
I
was
want to
so
hear.
fun. Yeah.
So I think in like 2008 or 9, Joel and came to town with Cinematic Titanic, which was his movie riffing project that he did between the two incarnations of Mystery Science Theater. And it was mostly a live show. And when it came to Chicago, they did 3 nights and they did 3 different movies, and 2 of them were world premieres of that
That's so
script.
cool.
And so I am an enormous Mystery Science Theater fan. Like behind me is a poster signed by the entire cast. Like I've
That's
always
awesome.
been a huge fan of Mystery Science Theater. And so I bought tickets to every night, all 3. And one of the nights I bought one of the DVDs they were selling, and the full cast, which was a lot of Mystery Science Theater performers, were all there, like doing autographs. And I'm waiting in a very long line, and I get up to them, and I can barely speak because
Because you're so excited.
I'm excited, and I'm like Ralphie's little brother seeing Santa Claus. Like,
Thank you for that, Gen Z. Sorry, Gen X reference, not Gen Z.
I cannot, like, I just see, like, I see Mary Jo Pehl, and I see Frank Conniff, and I'm just like, I just hand them the DVD, and they put their name in it, and then I just take it back. Like, I don't say anything. And then Joel's at the very end of the line, and I'm like kind of working up a nerve to say something. Because I'm so excited, and he's the one all the way at the end. And so I get up to him, and I just kind of blather. I'm just like, it's because of you, like, in this show that, like, I have you really formed my idea of comedy. That's why I'm here in Chicago. Came to Chicago to do like live comedy. I'm doing all these shows, and you're such an inspiration. I say something like that, and Joel looks at me, and he goes, he goes, "You got a good look for comedy," and that's it.
That's pretty good.
That's a compliment. That's a Joel compliment.
And I walk out, and I'm like, that's a great compliment. And then I'm like, but was he making fun of me a little bit? So then, many years later,
you storm back in.
Many years later, Joel's back in town because he's doing his one-man show. Doing this one-man show, he talks about being a magician, being a stand-up, creating Mystery Science Theater. It's a really, really great one-man show. You get the VIP tickets, which includes getting his autograph again. So I go up to him and I say, Joel, many years ago, you were in town for Cinematic Titanic. And I said all of this stuff about how you inspired me to be a comedian. And you said to me, you have a good look for comedy. Were you kind of making fun of me? And then he goes, I said what I said.
Oh no!
I love him.
So I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for the next time he comes through so I can
So on 2 previous occasions.
I want to text him, and he'll be like, I have an order of protection against that young man. Please shut your laptop immediately. I haven't talked to him in a while, but I find him to be so delightful that he'll be like, why are you texting me in the middle of the night for no reason? It's been years. How are you? He is who he is. He said what he said. He said what he said.
So a kid with a funny face.
He's a haiku of a person. And you have to just accept the beauty and the simplicity of what he gave you.
Mm-hmm.
We could teach a whole college course about it, and we will never know for sure. It'll just be commentary. It won't be the sacred text.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Now, before we talk about anything we've been playing, I do want to ask on you recently took a trip. Where did you fly out to, Sarah?
I've done a couple trips. I went to New York a couple weeks ago to do a gig with John Glazer and Alexandra Petrie and a couple other people at the New York Society Library in front of
Oh,
like 80 people at this members only library. It was on the Upper East Side. It was really fun. So there was that trip, and then came back for a few days, and then I went to Philadelphia to produce a photo shoot. And so I was there working with a crew that I really like, and I was in Philly for a few days.
I hold I. What's a members only library like?
Oh, honey. Well,
I
it's
need to know.
well, let me tell you, very full of books. It was
The thing I've always
founded.
hated about public libraries is the public part. So
Yeah, the
this is
public. I
yeah.
don't want to. Do I want to consort with the hoi polloi? It was actually the first library, community library, founded in the city of New York in, I believe, the 1750s or 1760s. And some of the first members were Mr. Alexander Hamilton and Mr. George Washington, and the such. And so they are now in a townhouse that was built, of a modern townhouse built in 1917, but they've had different, homes over the years. And so, hold for sound, fixing my mic in my ear. Okay. So they, they have this incredible, the Newberry Library here in the city of Chicago is like this too, where you can go, you can visit, you can take tours, you can see some of their public collection on display, but you need to become a member if you want to actually um, see any of most of the artifacts. Like, I don't know if either the New York Society Library or the Newberry are lending libraries. The Newberry is not. It's not a lending library. It's not like, doesn't put books in circulation. But as a researcher, it's just this incredible. I mean, it's an incredible resource that I'm going to take advantage of for Abraham fucking Lincoln. I already talked to a librarian there who's really fantastic. And then the New York Society Library, I think, is similar, but then they've got like a children's playing room, and I don't know, you got to pay to join. Basically, that was a long fucking walk to say you got to pay to join,
George
and they've got some dope
Washington's
shit
kids played in that playroom.
that maybe their ghost did in 1917.
Yeah.
It was a really interesting. Glazer and I were talking about it, about how it was just like so interesting to be how he said, at least, that he loves these unusual settings for comedy, and so
Mm-hmm.
do I, where it's unexpected. It's not a club, it's not a black box theater, it's not what you'd think. It's the members room at this gorgeous private library. It was cool, and apparently there's ghosts in the building. One person who works there told me they don't believe in ghosts, but allegedly there are ghosts, and I could tell that some of the other people who work there do believe in ghosts, and I will be returning and asking about the ghosts.
Now I've seen New York Ghosts do that whole like card catalog trick where they like
Oh
file the cards.
yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see that. Like maybe like a really like attractive ghost that did turn super scary as it turns to me in the stacks.
I
I saw a
wanted
great.
homage to Ghost B in that. Did you know that after they shot that part of Ghostbusters in the basement with like the librarian and all, it turns into like ectoplasm shit, they shot that at Columbia University in they were like in the rare, they like, for some reason they gave location permission to Ivan Reitman to shoot in like adjacent to the rare books section.
Oh
So
no!
they're like, they're doing like a lot of practical effects and like throwing stuff there. So they like you can't, I think after that, they didn't let anybody film in that part of the library ever again.
Oh, wow.
Did you have any interesting meals on this trip? This is what I was
Hmm.
building up to.
This is
Me
what
and
our listeners want to hear.
Alexandra. Okay. Me and Alexandra Petrie, she's great. She was at the Washington Post for a long time. She's at the Atlantic now. And her friend from high school, who is awesome, we went to on the Upper East Side, and we had some really fucking good sushi, man. I don't remember the name of the place, but it was real good. And I also had gone with my mom and my aunt, who is also my godmother, to a pizza place that I have been going to since the 90s. It used to be called Sophia, now it's called Serafina, and it's like a chain now in New York. But the original one is, again, on the Upper East Side. So we went, and it was delicious.
And You're from are you from New Jersey? Is that correct?
I am. I'm from beautiful, sunny New Jersey, a neighbor to, I think, your native Pennsylvania.
I'm from Connecticut. Though my
Shocking!
family now.
Shocking! Shocking!
Yeah.
Yeah, you know who else had family from Pennsylvania?
Who?
Abraham Lincoln.
Oh my God!
There you go. It
Yeah.
all comes back to Lincoln.
Berks County, Pennsylvania, birthplace of Taylor Allison with one L Swift, December 13th, 1989. Berks County, Pennsylvania, also where Abraham Lincoln's, I think his great grandfather John was born there. But then he moved to Virginia and became Virginia John. I might have fucked all that up, but whatever. If there's any hardcore Lincoln heads listening, just pretend I didn't say that. Buy my book when it comes out, whenever it comes
We
out.
get emails from those guys all the time. Listen,
We're
we're used to
always-
ignoring their. Yeah, the Lincoln heads are always up our ass.
The Lincoln heads are like, who is Joel Hodgson? I am a 49-year-old with a liberal arts degree who does graphic design. I went to Vassar and I was one of the only dudes and I loved it. I've never heard of MST3K. What
don't
is
even own a
Dungeons
TV.
and Dragons? What is a dungeon or a dragon? Yeah,
You
no
know what?
TV, Luddites.
I don't know what a dungeon dragon is. Now,
It's beautiful.
but my New Jersey question.
Yes.
Okay. Important.
Mhm,
Important.
mhm.
Taylor ham
Oh no, it's pork roll.
or pork roll. Okay,
It's pork roll.
that's pork roll.
Okay.
All right.
It's Taylor ham is like, it's so bizarre to me that anybody calls it that. What are you, a fucking monster? You're calling it after the name of the company, you corporate fuck? It's pork roll. Are you in bed with the Taylor ham mafia, you fucking losers? Shills. These people are weak.
Wow.
Pork roll. Pork roll. Haven't eaten it in years. Probably wouldn't eat it now. Did as a child.
It's like Canadian bacon. It's
I also don't remember if there was actually a Taylor ham company, but it was a good bit, and I just wanted to kind of roll with it.
I believe that is, but I don't know. I
Looking it
just
up right now. I have
Yeah.
a telephone with the internet on it, and I'm looking it
Whoa.
up. Yeah, that's right.
Did
Big
Joel
league in
get
us.
you that?
Joel did. Joel said, "Sarah, welcome to a new world,
Yeah, he
my
Morpheus
my
you.
friend." Oh, yeah, he did. He is in many ways my Lawrence Fishburne. Okay, developed in Trenton, New Jersey by John Taylor in 1856. Ooh,
He
okay.
made and then the world took.
Yeah, that's really good. Yes,
Very
clap,
good.
clap for that.
Thank
I'm
you,
clapping
thank you.
for
We
that.
all like when we
I like
look
it.
out the window, riding the train through Newark, the Amtrak South. You look out, you see that suspension bridge. Newark
It's
makes
beautiful.
the world takes.
So he invented it in 1856. Guess what else happened in 1856?
Is it related to Abraham Lincoln?
Well, only if you think it's important that his home in Springfield was remodeled for the 5th time in 1856, which it is very germane to this conversation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
it's very connected. I wonder if he ever had Taylor ham.
Well, that's
What this
Toxic me with his
biography is.
ghost. This biography is
So-
never coming out because I'm going to have to research that for 7 months. My
So
publisher will be like, "Fuck you."
so Jess, speaking of the 5th time Abraham Lincoln renovated his home in Springfield,
Springfield.
Illinois.
Yeah, yeah.
What have you been playing?
Oh my gosh, what have I been playing? Ben, just earlier today, I've been talking about this a lot. I have set up a little virtual machine on my computer where I've been going back and digging into old Windows 95 games. I have like a little tiny Windows 95 running inside my Windows 11 that allows me to relive all the fun of the mid-90s and early 2000s.
Let me get a calculator out. So 95 divided by 11.
Mhm.
You're running Windows 8.6363636.
Yeah, so basically Windows 8, known as one of the better Windows.
Yeah.
But
Windows 95 had the best fucking commercial. It started with Start Me Up, remember?
Yes,
Everybody to burn
yeah.
into your retina. Sorry, go ahead, Jess. I just have to applaud you for your taste.
It is burned in my retinas. But I was playing around earlier today with Daria's Inferno, based on the MTV animated series Daria.
That is so funny that they did that. Oh my God.
And it's a weird game. Like, the premise is, it starts out with like an animated sequence that looks quite good. It looks like the show, as well as you could capture that circa 2000. And Daria falls asleep in class while her teacher is talking about Dante's Inferno, and she ends up transported to her own version of hell, populated by all of her classmates and family and everything else. And it's kind of a crummy game. Like, it's this isometric, like, pulled out, tilted view where Daria walks around the high school and other locations, and like Kevin and Brittany are like demon lords, and you have to. The whole thing is, it's not a good game, but I love that it exists. I love the swing that they took with it. It's kind of like an adventure game light. They have some inventory type stuff. They have some mazes and things, but I'm just happy to see Daria. I like hearing the theme song to Daria. That alone just brightens my day.
That concept is great. That pitch must have been so fun. I love that idea.
Like, that's a good starting point, right? Like, that
For sure. It's very funny.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Do you think that they work backwards from Daria's Inferno? Like, they had the title and they were like, okay,
yes,
make a game.
I do. I think so.
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right.
For sure.
Yeah. No, it sounds too good to have gone the other way around. No, they definitely work backwards on that. But yeah, I mean, it's a crummy game, but I love a good, like, adaptation of a media property turned into a crappy game. That's like my favorite subgenre of video game anyway. So I'll take it. It's good stuff. So yeah, that's what I've been playing around with today, and probably will end up streaming it at some point. It's so bizarre. I feel like I need to share it with the world. Ben, what have you been playing?
Jess, I've been playing the co-op cooking game Overcooked 2 with my boyfriend. And when, like, I think it, like, when it was loading up, like, the second time we played it, he turns to me and goes, is this going to cause us to have our first argument? Like, our first big argument?
Because you said, shut up, we're playing a game.
Because I don't know if you've ever played this game, but it's a game, like, where it's like, okay, so like you see a bunch of food orders and they're all like populating at the top of the screen, and one person is chopping stuff up and another person is like cooking, you know, the hamburgers, and you like put them in the bun and you put them on a plate. You have to throw them on the thing, but there's constant chaos and everything is really difficult and obnoxious and hard to get going at the same time. And so it is like, I did have the same thought. He just vocalized it.
And did it. I mean, did you have your first argument?
No, we didn't. We made it through. We made it through.
Good sign. Good sign.
Made it through. We made it through. We've made it to the third world of the game, not a developing nation. And but it is. Yes, that might be fun for us to stream together.
I'd be into that.
Because you know what? That might lead to our first fight.
That would be kind of fun. I think.
I'm gonna start a fight with someone I love soon about this game.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, no, I mean, and we're both so conflict avoidant, and I think it would be a very awkward fight for people to witness. I think it would be, I mean, it would, I don't even know if it would rise to the level of passive aggression. I think it would just be somewhere below that, which is almost more upsetting.
But you're Southern, you could polite him to death. I love that.
I could if I needed to.
I love that. That is such a good, I think that's
I could
such
bless
incredible.
his heart.
Oh, it's such a beautiful weapon of war. When I see my Southern friends deploy it, I'm like, God damn, how did you people lose? Like, it really is so fucking good.
Was
I'm
there
like,
any important leaders on the other side that may have led them to lose? Like anyone like driving the ship over on the other side?
No, I just think it would have worked out if Jefferson Davis had been like, well, don't you look good today? You look cute. I bet you feel cute in that. Do you feel cute in that?
I could
Everybody
not wear
just
that,
fucking
but I
dies.
love that you are. Yeah,
I couldn't do that myself. I'm so impressed. What are you doing? Well, y'all hungry? Looks like y'all like to eat. If he had just did that, everybody would have been so sad. Oh, yeah. But, history went the way it went, man. You can't retcon history. Am I right, guys? Or can you? Woo! We're in another dimension. I had a lot of coffee today. And I don't know what I'm saying.
That's okay.
I feel real comfortable with you guys. Did you know?
Sarah, what have you been playing?
I've been playing at being an adult woman, and I'm not succeeding. I've been playing shit. I got to be honest. Truly nothing. I do think it's really funny that Jefferson Davis's wife was named Verena. It's a perfectly nice name. Makes me laugh every time. I don't know why. Mostly, I just play the role of somebody who does things other than think about what she's supposed to be doing for work. My boyfriend's kid would really like for me to play games that he's into. The one time I tried, I was like, I feel nauseous. I don't know what's happening. Where do I put these boxes? This is a lot. But I love him, so I will try. And today I did send him a 2-hour-long walkthrough of King's Quest IV. And I was like, this is an important relic of my childhood. And he just texted back, cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I was
I
like
had that
playing
exact same conversation with my 13-year-old daughter.
He's about to be 13 in a couple weeks. And I was just like, man, why am I sending him this? He's not going to do. We did watch, this is not a game, but we've been watching The Amazing Digital Circus, which fucking rules.
I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
Well, let me tell you something. The Amazing Digital Circus is a fabulous animated program on the YouTube straight out of Australia. And but you don't have to deal with a ton of Australian accents. They're just peppered in there, and it feels right. And it's so good and it's so popular that they're dropping the final episode in like a week or two in theaters. Like they did a partnership with some American theaters and some theaters in Central and South America and Mexico. Anyway, that told you basically nothing. Again, I'm Sara Benincasa. Hello, everyone. I'm not playing any games. I don't play games, guys. I came here to be real.
That's right. That's what we want to get. Yeah, that dispense with all the games.
Inspirations.
That's time for games.
Inspirations for the show include Harlan Ellison's short story, I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream.
Oh, I saw Harlan Ellison once. And
yeah, we're going to have to hear this.
Was so funny and so just roasted the other panelists. It was like October 2001. Okay. And was it Harlan? Yeah, it was Harlan Ellison. He was so fucking funny. And I'm so glad that I saw him from afar. Really great performer. Quite a guy from what I've read. A real mixed bag, but what a brilliant fucking dude. It was at MIT in like October 2001. Strange time for America.
Yeah.
Harlan was not making it more normal.
No.
He was just making fun of everybody. It was pretty great.
Yeah. You didn't want to be in the splash zone.
No.
Yeah,
I was in some cheap seats. No, he was like mostly making fun of his fellow presenters and like their families and so just roasting people. Like he was not being demonic or evil or nasty. He was just being very funny and ribald, I would say. I think he cursed sometimes. It was pretty cool.
So
you could do that back then.
Yeah, you could curse back at MIT back then. P.S. I was not an MIT student, but I did go to their events sometimes.
Were you in Boston at the time? Like, I
Yeah.
guess, yeah.
I went to Emerson College for a couple years before I
Oh,
dropped
right.
out.
Yeah.
That is where I met my friend Josh Sigorin, aka Chad the Bird, who I perform
Mm.
with sometimes. But yeah, I was at Emerson. I guess I was what was I? I was a junior and I dropped out
Mhm,
like halfway through.
mhm.
And then one day finished at a little place called Warren Wilson College in Swannanoa, North Carolina.
So,
Do you
today
think
we're
your
talking.
listeners are opening a vein yet? Do you think they're like, who the fuck is this broad? Truly word salading, info dumping. I just stepped
No,
on your pivot.
No, no,
A
no.
bad
It's
guess.
no.
they've heard us talk way too much. This is like episode 81. Any
That's
break from the
awesome.
two of us is a real treat for the listeners.
No, that they come here for you. They come here to be entertained.
We
Oh
With you
also.
no, that's
guys.
even more upsetting. oh
I also,
no,
it
now I'm in
also
my
is
head.
a perfect title of a podcast. I love it. A Quest. I love it so much.
Thank you.
Easy to remember.
That's
Uh,
right.
so today we're talking about King's Quest 4. And one of the reasons that we have you on, Sarah, was I was at your housewarming party.
Yes, a
I
year
believe
ago.
last year, around this time
Hmm.
last year,
hmm
maybe.
Hmm.
And there, on a shelf, was the box for King's Quest 4.
Hmm.
And actually, when we were talking last year, Jess and I, about potential guests to have on the show, even
Yes.
before that housewarming, Jess said we should maybe reach out to Sara Benincasa because she's tweeted about King's Quest 4
Yes.
in the past.
We were mutuals a lifetime ago on
Oh, on it
Twitter.
when it was
And
fun.
when it was fun and normal, and you didn't have to feel like an awful
Yes.
person being there, and you remember, like back when it was still Twitter.
It was just like it was like a bunch of fun dorks talking to each other, and you would find your dorks who were into your dork stuff, and you would just be dorks about it together. It was very fun.
Right. And I think I'd posted something about King's Quest 4, and you dropped into the comments and said, it's like, oh, this game was, I loved this when I was younger. And I
Oh, I
kind of
love
filed
it.
that way. I was like, oh, that's always interesting to hear people who, played these games they're so influential in my
Oh
childhood and
yeah.
so many other people's. And yeah, when Ben and I were first brainstorming like guests, I said, it's like, I would love, all I know of Sarah's experience with King's Quest 4 is a tweet here and there, but I would love to know more about it because I could tell that like you were very excited to see someone else talking about King's Quest 4. So I
Oh
was like,
my
I want to hear
gosh.
her talk about King's Quest 4.
Yes, I have. I was texting my friend, a great uh, writer of many things, and author and a game writer and a late night writer, Mike Drucker, who's fantastic.
Oh
And I
yeah.
was texting him that I was going to do a show and talk about King's Quest 4. I also sent him that walkthrough. I didn't just inflict it on like a poor 12-year-old. Um, but because that's like a sort of one of the tenets of Mike's and my friendship is that we both love, and he's interviewed Roberta Williams recently actually.
Mhm.
I freaked out. I was so excited for him. So we love that, and I have a few I have a couple books many years ago. He gave me a King's Quest novelization, which I have, and then I think I have
Yeah.
one more book that he gave me that I still have. And that was when I think that was when I lived in LA. We both lived in LA at the time, so that has been with me through so many moves. Um, and I just love all that stuff. And yeah, I loved King's Quest 4. I mean, I loved King's Quest 3. I liked 1 and 2. I tried to get into 5, but because we were moving to like a point and click kind of interface, that was really not for me at that time. A little too advanced, a little too wild, a little too out there. I said, this will never take off. You're going to always have to type in the text to do
Yeah.
stuff and move the arrow keys. But it was the first like major wide release to my knowledge that had a girl as a protagonist. And so that was really big. And the fact that, and I'm sure I in this particular genre of game or subgenre, let's say, I believe it was the first time where you had a game where you could play as the lead, and the lead was your protagonist was a girl. There's probably one where you play as like a lady octopus, and somebody, if we were on Twitter, somebody would be like,
Well,
actually, and I'd be like, you're right. Okay. That was a femme-coded octopus. I'm terribly sorry. I forgot about Tentacle Fuckers, which came out after Leisure Suit Larry or something. And I wasn't allowed.
that
To
game's
play.
great though.
I
I would
I
love to
want
see a
to play
reboot
it
of
now.
it.
I want to play it on
Yeah.
Steam now. Actually, I need to get back on Steam and do it because I was never allowed to play that game. And I was like, this feels like it's about sex. I'm 8. Let's go. And my parents were like, absolutely not.
I can push up my glasses and say I think the earliest one is Plundered Hearts, which was an Infocom text adventure. It was a romance.
Stupid. Oh, it was a romance.
It was a romance.
Was it a romance adventure game?
It was a romance adventure game.
Mm-hmm.
This is Wikipedia. Plundered Hearts cast the player as a young woman in the late 17th century who has received a letter. Jean Lafond, the governor of a small West Indies island of St. Sinastra, says the player's father has contracted a, quote, wasting tropical disease.
Oh, no.
Oh, he probably fucking deserves it because he's probably part of the fucking triangle trade. What the fuck is he doing? The fucking West Indies goddamn forced labor camp plantation. Fuck him. French motherfucker. Unless her dad is an enslaved individual being forced to work on one of said plantations. Pretty sure that's not the deal, though.
Doesn't sound like it.
Let's unpack it.
As the game, we'll bring you back. We'll all play Plundered Hearts together and decolonize it.
Yeah, let's decolonize. We should decolonize. Let's queer and decolonize Plundered Hearts, please.
Yes.
Everyone's been begging for that.
That was, honestly, I played it. I was like, pretty good game, but needs to be queered and decolonized.
Yeah.
And your parents were like, great job, Ben. That's amazing coming from a 6-year-old.
Ben, you really unpacked the layers inherent of corruption inherent to the sugar industry even today.
Yeah.
But so in King's Quest 4, when you played it, did your computer have a sound card, or was it just doing the little beeps and boops?
So we were a PC family.
Yeah.
So in that world, many years later, it would be represented by America's sweetheart, John Hodgman. Oh wait, no. Was he a Mac in those commercials?
He was the PC.
And it was
Justin Long.
No, but there was the dude you're getting a Dell guy. That was a different thing.
Yeah,
different guy. Yeah.
Okay, so Justin Long was
the
an
cool,
Apple.
handsome Mac that we all wanted to be. And John Hodgman was the stodgy, awkward PC that we don't like.
Adorable. We love him. And so we were a PC family. I was not fucking around with an Apple II GS. I was like, get out of here. This is a PC household. That's what I said to my parents who brought the computer home from work. So we had a PC of some kind, and I was playing it on that. So I never played any of the Sierra online games. I think they had them for like Atari and shit. Like they had
them for all kinds of platforms. Yeah, the Atari computers and
But no, I was a PC girly.
I was asking because one of the cool things with King's Quest 4 was their first game to support sound cards, and they went all out with it. So this was the title theme.
Oh. Makes me so happy.
They're really going for it. Like just
it's Imperial, bro.
There's a piccolo in there.
I want like a trap remix of this. So walk down the aisle when I get married. I want that.
They brought William Goldstein to do this, who did music for the TV show Fame, which I never watched. I don't know if either of you watched the TV show.
I know that I'm gonna live forever. I'm gonna learn how to fly.
Where my knowledge ends.
No.
Yeah,
Inspired
and
by
then
Fiorello LaGuardia High School in of the Performing Arts in New York City. Think
and
about that
he
when you go to sleep at night.
Mm-hmm.
I will be.
Great.
And also he did music for the '80s Twilight Zone. They weasel it a little bit. They're like, Andy did music for the Twilight Zone, and then
But it's
I'm like,
like,
but wait,
Well,
but if he's doing the
well,
Fame music, he's not working with Rod Serling.
mhm. I
And I
think,
looked it up.
well, I think, I don't remember the music being that resplendent when
Mm,
I was playing it. I recall a series of beeps and boops in a melodic fashion that I
mm-hmm.
enjoyed. But I do feel there's something in me that has this, that is like hearing that, and heard it earlier with the walkthrough that I forced on people. Um, where I was like, oh, this is so much more rich and resonant, and there's a lot more happening here. It's a version of what I was used to hearing on my computer. But then I might also be conflating that with King's Quest 3, so I don't know. King's Quest 3 was like my gateway drug, and then King's Quest 4 was really when we got it popping off. They had a fucking unicorn, man.
It
it did,
did.
yeah. Uh, I and the so it was a showpiece for this new sound card technology. Now, the version, you might have had a sound card and it might have sounded a little different. This is like the version I played was if you had like the
Top of the line.
500
Yeah.
in
Mm-mm.
1989 dollars sound
No, I
card,
would say no.
which is $1 million today, if you can believe
Yeah.
it. And uh but they brought in this guy who had done like professional like television and movie soundtracks to do the music. They like it they upped the resolution. They made it a much bigger and like splashier looking game. Another piece of music I wanted to share very quickly is this very oddly melancholy tune they play for the fisherman that's always stuck with me.
Oh yeah.
The life of
That's
the
Beautiful.
fisherman.
beautiful. That's beautiful. I mean, again, I heard it in sort of a primitive beeps and boops form, but it was a bit melancholy even then. Like, well, look at this motherfucker just fishing. Pretty
Got
much
it
that's
rough.
it. That's his life. He fishes. And it's like, is it that bad? And it's, I guess I'm supposed to think so. There he
There aren't that
is fishing.
there aren't that many other people on the island. There's an evil giant
Yeah.
and his family.
Mm-hmm.
There's Pan,
Yeah.
Cupid,
There's
Yeah.
Pan, there's Cupid, there's
seven
A
dwarves,
minstrel.
seven dwarfs. Yeah. There's
a
the
minstrel.
a minstrel, but like he's like a white guy with like who's sort of like fa la laing along, if I recall
Mm-hmm.
correctly. Sort of like some dude who just he looks like one of the Strokes would eventually look circa 2002, and he's just sort of scampering around. There's a haunted house with a ghost in it. It's pretty
Mm-hmm.
cool.
I don't want to get too political. Are the evil trees people?
Well, that's a great question. And the fact that you would bring that up without sort of giving me a heads up or giving my publicist a heads up,
I'm so sorry. I'm
you
so
were
sorry.
He's
We
trying
can
to
get
you
sell
that.
a
We'll
book and you're gonna get her canceled.
Diana, Diana, are you listening? Diana, did you give them the third rail topics? Did you give them the list?
we got the rider, but we didn't get that.
She knows that she'll be punished later, and it's
we
gonna
got
be
you
horrible.
we got you 3.5 cups of only red M&Ms, so we did do that.
Thank you. And a Joel
Uh,
Hodgson story.
yeah, and a Joel
Yes.
Hodgson
I love a
story.
Joel
Thank goodness
Hodgson
Ben had
story.
one.
Yes.
It would have been
Otherwise,
hard to get one, but time for the record.
There's
nope.
an evil green woman and her son.
Mm-hmm.
There
Okay,
are
I would just like to push back on that.
mhm,
She is she's misunderstood
mhm.
and clearly ripped from the cinematic Wizard of Oz.
I was going, oh, do you think she has a
much, but
wicked
it's just
story
ripped,
as well? Yeah.
ripped from Wizard of Oz, like that whole thing. It's so great. I mean, let's call it an homage. I believe it's an
Yeah.
homage.
Her flying henchman. Yeah.
Yeah, her flying henchman. Roberta and Ken Williams were not trying to violate IP. They were saying, let's do an homage. So I think that's what that was.
Mm-hmm.
And then her son, who like is like horned up for you and likes you as the girl. He's like, I guess I'll let you out of my mom's dungeon prison. and then you're just like, okay, bye, and like that's it. You don't like. I think you like kiss him on the cheek at some point or hug him. I don't know. He turns red at some point.
He's constantly blushing every time he looks at you.
Yeah. He's got that like hot. I'm a little stinker blush.
Yeah, and you're like, I'm a hot blonde girl. That's and my job is that a fairy named Janesta gave me a quest, and I guess my dad's dying, so now I'm on this island, not clear on what to do.
Look past my peasant clothes to see the royal demeanor beneath.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's poetry.
All right, then you have 3 witches that all share one eyeball.
Classic.
Ripped from Billy Shakes and just mythology in general.
And then a mummy's tomb.
Yes.
Where Pandora's box is.
Oh, right.
Luckily, if you have a scarab, you'll be fine.
Why?
A pool. There's a pool. That's important to know about.
There's a pool. That's where Cupid hangs out. I am curious. Why is there a mummy's tomb? Like the mishmash of many other stuff. It's that a general crypt that looks like kind of a European kind of crypt. And then you open it up and it's a mummy's tomb, actually.
Yeah, we get like it's interesting. Thank you for bringing this up. We have this Greek mythology layer.
Mm-hmm.
We have this sort of Grimm's fairy tales, like fairy tales of probably Western and Central European origin layer. And then we also have this very sort of maybe like a Victorian horror story through modern day layer of like the haunted house, the mummy's tomb. Like this all feels very of its own thing. So we're playing with it, but we at no point does like Jason run through with like a hockey mask or something. So we don't get that far along in the progression of story, but we are playing in these different realms in a way that's just sort of all mashed together, which I love, actually.
And there is an Easter egg that will make Rosella breakdance at one point in if you play the like when I played this game as a kid, I had a crappy computer that couldn't run the nice version of King's Quest 4. I had to have like the downgraded, worst graphics, worst sound version that had the same interface as King's Quest 3 did. So they made 2 versions of it, the nice one.
Okay.
And I probably had the bad one.
I probably had that one.
So I had the bad
one I had, by the way, too.
It was in color, right, though? And it was on...
Yeah, it was still in color.
And was it on 8-inch floppies, or was it on the smaller floppy disks?
It probably came on larger and smaller. I think I had the big 5 1/4 inch. Like
I know I said 8-inch. Yeah. That wasn't fucking 8 inches.
I think I had the floppy ones.
Yeah, I had the floppy flops too.
So, but in that version, there's a scene where they hit a little Easter egg that if you type rap into it, Rosella starts like breakdancing, and then there's what in the 1980s would pass as a rap.
Wow.
Where it's like a rap about how hard it is to ship a video game. That like it's really hard to make these things, and we've been like working horrible hours, and probably this is 3 a.m. and we haven't seen our families in 2 weeks, and we are putting this in to vent our frustrations at being on this project. So
devs are psychotic, and they are always been psychotic, and they always will be, and I respect that about them. That's so nuts. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, that jumps us straight forward to the present day. So it covers, a wide span from ancient Egypt.
That is beautiful.
I'm through into the early years of hip hop.
Oh, God, that's magnificent. The Sugar Hill Gang pops up at some point.
Yeah.
I love it.
This did have a complicated development. They were trying to make this their big showpiece for an IPO.
Yeah, this was
Mhm.
them like showing that they're the Disney of entertainment software was what they hoped this game would be, like from a marketing standpoint. This is us catapulting ourselves into a huge player in the entertainment industry.
Ooh, yeah, that didn't happen, but it was still fucking cool as hell. Oh my
And
Yeah.
gosh.
like reading from the digital antiquarian, there's a like a story that Al Lowe, who designed Leisure Suit Larry, tells about how they were all excited this will be their big thing for the IPO, and then someone was like, hey, how's our big thing for the IPO going? And they looked at it and it was in terrible shape. So he was put in charge, and starting on Labor Day Monday, they assembled the entire group of all programmers at Sierra and said, we are going to live here until this is done in 1 month.
Oh
And
my
that's
God, that's insane.
and that uh like and then he's like quote, and by God, by the end of the month we had a game. It wasn't perfect, it was a little buggy, but at least we had a game we could send out, and when we went public it was a successful IPO.
Thank
So,
goodness.
the
And that's what
Oh,
really
okay.
investors
matters at
made
the
their
end of the day.
money.
Yeah.
I remember like also at that time you had competing game, well, not, yeah, from like LucasArts
Mm-hmm.
or Lucas. I don't know if they were calling themselves Lucasfilm or LucasArts or Lucas Games or whatever, but you had that, and then you had like it was just this really interesting time where more of a mainstream audience was starting to like get into these story games, the storytelling games. And I know I'm not using like the correct terminology right now for like within the industry and for like real fans and shit, but in terms of like just a random ass person who wasn't that into games being like, oh, that computer game looks interesting. Let me look at that. Oh, wow. It's got a really beautifully designed cover. It's got really evocative text. Like, this seems interesting. And also, the artist who passed away, gosh, I forget when she passed away. I believe it was I should know her name. The artist who did the cover art for the Perils of Rosella was just really, really amazing. Um, God,
It's
it
a
was.
beautiful illustration. I mean, yeah, it's one of the, I think, better looking Sierra boxes from that
It's
era.
so stunning.
I know you have the box there. Jess, is that one that you have?
Yes, I do have a copy of King's Quest 4 as well. I started out on King's Quest 2. That was my entry
Oh
point
wow!
into kind of computer games in general. My parents got it along with my first computer. Radio Shack just threw in a copy, and I was immediately hooked and played 3 and 4 right after. And for me, and Ben and I have talked about this before when we've talked about other King's Quest games, as small and constrained as those worlds were, as a kid, it
Oh
felt
yeah.
like a world of just like limitless possibilities. I could type anything, I could go anywhere in this world. It really did feel boundless to me in a way that just, the games I'd played on my Atari 2600 or other things like that just couldn't possibly capture. And that was what really drew me to it as a kid.
It felt participatory because it was. I mean, obviously, you
Mm-hmm.
had to. There were certain prompts you had to type in, but you could do different versions of them. So that made it feel like, I mean, especially in an era where like I grew up on fairy tale theater. And so
Mm-hmm.
this was like getting to be in the fairy tale world. And there were so many familiar references from stories that most kids had heard, that getting to be in that world was so cool. And actually, now that you brought it up, I think the first one I played was 1 or 2 because we
Okay.
had it at my school in our computer lab. Remember
Oh,
those?
wow.
And so
Oh.
in the computer lab, we could play certain games, and I think 1 or 2 was one of them. And then I played 3 for years and years and years, never beat it until I discovered we had a whole like trunk full of computer games. Till one day I was digging through it and I realized that my dad had brought home the solution to King's Quest 3 from a friend
Oh,
on like the old dot matrix printer paper, and it
beautiful.
was like buried in the bottom. And I was like, I've been playing this game trying to beat it for like 3 or 4 years. And I was like, oh my God, the solution's here. But King's Quest 4, I mean, I loved 3. I always loved 3 so, so much. But 4 was really special, I think, because I was a little older when it came out. I don't know how old I would have been, 9 or 10. What year did it come out?
88.
88.
Oh God, no! I was 7 or 8. Okay, so I just, it was a step up, even though I had the cheap version of the game like we all did. It was a step up, and it did feel really special. And uh, as a little girl, I was like, oh, I get to play as a girl. This is awesome. This rules.
The one of the things I liked, because I think because we had those first 4 when I was a little kid, and just like kind of poking around them, and I was little, and like they had like 1 through 4 were well out, and 5 was
Mm-hmm.
just coming out when I was poking around these. And I remember one of the exciting things for me being very young was that I figured out what to do in the Seven Dwarves house. Like, I never
Oh,
solved
that's awesome!
puzzles as like, a 6 or 7-year-old. But like I knew, because I knew Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, that you clean the house.
Mhm.
I love that.
And so I was like, the house is dirty.
It's
I,
so
I do.
sweet.
I love the intertextuality though of how King's Quest
Yes.
goes alongside all the fairy tales and things like that we know it as a game that presumably aimed at a maybe younger audience than some of Sierra's games. Knowing some of the basic stuff, it's like, well, in the first game, if I need to get past a troll on a bridge, I kind of have some hint of the idea of Billy Goat's gruff, so maybe I can get a goat to come over here. I meet a bunch of dwarves with a filthy house. I kind of know how that's supposed to go because I have some familiarity with that as well, and it is a nice entry point, for like a kid's first adventure game is you have at least a place to start that maybe you wouldn't in the same way with games that aren't built on those fairy tales that every kid presumably knew.
Yeah, I think it gives the kid a greater feeling of authority and agency, and like a feeling of
Yeah.
confidence of um, having prior knowledge and bringing it to this is so cool. Yeah.
This is probably another one of your red lines, but we didn't get this from your publicist. I have a
Dan?
question. So when you clean the dwarves' house, they all come, they all eat some soup, and then they all leave. They leave a bag of diamonds behind. We later see them in a diamond mine. Are dwarf diamonds ethical?
No, because I believe they're doing this against their will. I believe they're being forced to do
Oh.
this.
Oh,
I don't think they're happy to be there, and that might be me projecting. But I
One of them
also,
is.
yeah, oh, that's true. God damn it, that's so stupid. I love it. You scamp, you got me. They are all adults, though, and I appreciate that they're all adults. Also, they seem very like just sort of like, oh yeah, a strange woman cleaned up our place. Normal. Like it's very
very
whatever.
matter of fact. So then
Mhm,
when you come back with the diamonds, they're like,
mhm.
whatever. We have nothing but diamonds.
Yeah,
We're
look at this
dead.
place.
And then so you treat the diamonds also as being worthless, and you give them to the sad fisherman,
Mhm.
and he gives you a fishing rod. And
Wow.
I want to note this little bit of dialogue that made me like is the fisherman, when you give him the diamonds, this is how he addresses his wife. Wife, give the girl my fishing pole in trade.
That's a happy marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
it's a
live in
happy
a
marriage.
one-room fishing shack.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he's not even a fisherman anymore. Like, he just retired from his job / hobby, whatever. He gave away his stuff. Now he's just, I guess, a rich man.
He got
Yeah.
a bag full of diamonds.
Well, this like Nepo princess shows up and it's like, I got diamonds from little people who are maybe being forced to work here, maybe not. Can't really tell, but they seem to live in some sort of, if not homosexual, homosocial piece, veering towards homoeroticism. I don't think they're related.
Are you
Anyway,
queering this game now?
I'm queering the game. I'm queering and decolonizing the game.
Good, good. Uh-huh.
We're queering and decolonizing King's Quest 4. And so this Nepo princess is like, okay, diamonds, used to those, boring, yawnsies. And she's like, I'll give it to this poor, this
The poorest guy I've
loser.
ever seen.
Where's this poor? He has a one room, he has a studio, a subsistence fishing studio. Get out.
Check out
Here.
this guy.
Mhm.
I'm gonna give him this. It's actually. Haven't you seen the Mr. Beast video? I gave a poor fisherman a bag of diamonds.
It's beautiful.
It's a great social experiment.
It's such a cool, because what he's doing is actually just like really showing how like people are good. Do you know what I mean? Like they're good. So she's like, here, poor. And he's like, thanks, here's a pole. And she's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? Stupid. And he's like, if you teach a wealthy bitch to fish, you equip her with a technical skill for life, much like the Lord said. And she's like, shut up.
I'm sorry. I'm still at subsistence fishing studio.
It's an efficiency. The wife is like, it's an efficiency unit. Fuck you.
Wife.
Former
I can't
husband.
I can't believe I'm shaming him for that when his life through not his own fault is so hard, and then I'm coming in and imposing my values.
Well, we
on
don't
him.
know if it's, I think it might be his own fault.
Oh yeah,
We don't know if he played the ponies, if he was.
Mhm.
he played the
maybe he had-
unicorns.
He played the unicorns. Well, he actually had a long-term tryst with one of the unicorns. And
Oh, shit.
the wife found out and she said, guess what, motherfucker? You're going to live in a subsistence fishing studio with me and you're going to have hot water with fish scales in it every day. And you're going to go out there and you're going to fucking fish. And you're going to come back here. You're going to look me deep in my eyes and you're going to say, I fucking love you. And I'm going to hit you across the face every day. And that's our life. And that was their life until Rosella showed up.
You got there. I was going to say, do you think him addressing her as wife, do you think this is some sort of sub-dom type situation going on in the fishing efficiency?
Yes, I
The
do think
efficiency.
so. Yeah, the efficiency. I think what's
efficiency.
sort of the dynamic between them is that performatively she forces him to play like sort of this gruff alpha male fisherman, like the
Mhm.
studly fisherman of our dreams.
Oh, yeah.
And she forces him to perform that for company. P.S. Roselle's the first person who's ever come over, but she's had this plan in place for
So
ever
he's
since
like,
she found him.
finally.
Yeah. Well, since she found him, like getting fucked by the unicorn with the horn in his boom boom. And she's so mad. And she's like, guess what? New World Order. Wife's in charge. And her real name is Melissa. And
Mhm.
she wanted to be an attorney, but she settled down with him after they met in high school. And they actually used to live in the Seven Dwarfs cottage. It was great. But once he was cheating, she said, no, I'm going to punish you. And she sold her to the dwarfs. And she took him to the shitty studio on the pier.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, their whole life is real
this is a
fucked
rich,
up.
it's a game rich with meaning.
I'm
Yeah.
curious, when you're a kid, like, I'm guessing this isn't the story you imagine around this,
No,
but I
it was
know
this.
certainly
It was exactly
this is precisely, you found this in an old journal, right? Before
I
we
did.
were-
It was a Barbie journal with a lock on
Yeah.
the front. And I was
mean,
like, let's do this.
I know when I was a kid, like I was filling in the blanks of these games and their stories and the characters and everything like crazy in my head. It was one of the things that I loved about them was just, there it is sparse enough that it leaves plenty of room to imagine these
Oh,
kinds
for
of,
sure.
entire lives of what are ultimately, you know, barely one-dimensional characters in a lot of cases. It's fun to just imagine. I mean, I eventually became the kind of kid who's, I'd get some fan fiction going on some of these Sierra games. I love to fill in those blanks.
Did you ever
And now we
write
have
slash fic about Leisure Suit Larry and Rosella?
no. I won't deny having written slash fic, but not that specific one. For the record,
I
I was
wrote.
busy. I was
No, go
I was a
ahead.
teenager. I was writing X-Men slash fic. Thank you.
Thank
I mean,
you. Thank
like
you.
like a young adult.
Yeah, this is mutes. They were gifted mutants. Thank you.
Yes.
Not
Yeah.
fairy tale people. Yuck.
That's for babies.
I did once, as a very young person, write like fanfic of Sweet Valley High that was like very sexual. Like I think I
Yeah.
was 8 and I like left
Oh,
it out in a notebook because it was
no.
just like somebody being like, why don't we go have sex? Okay. Like, there wasn't a whole lot going on
That
there,
checks
but
out.
highly sexual for me. And because my parents wouldn't let us watch whatever we wanted. Like we couldn't watch Married with Children. We couldn't watch The Simpsons. We couldn't watch all this stuff. But I could read whatever I wanted. So like when I found a random ass romance novel, like in the free bucket at the library, I was taking it. And like my parents, who were like, I don't know, 16, were like, ugh. Not really. They were like, some ridiculous age, such as 30 when I was like 7 or 8. And so they were just doing whatever they were doing. And I was like, cool, I'm reading about all of this. So I tried to write like sort of a bodice ripper, like Sweet Valley High, without really knowing what I was writing about. And my parents, God bless them, found it. And I thought I was in trouble. And they addressed it really beautifully because they were like, we were just sort of wondering, like, if we could talk about like some of the things you wrote about in here. We were wondering where you found out about those things. And I was like, listen, you 30-year-old idiots, you let me read whatever I want. Like me and my friend are about to go read The Prince of Tides. We're 9. Like what? Like what is this? You're not monitoring the books. And my parents were just like, okay, we were just worried. Like I think they watched some sort of parenting lesson on TV about how to talk to your kids about abuse. So I think in their simple little 30-year-old heads, they were like, okay, she knows what sex is. We explained that, but she's writing really evocative stuff about Jessica and Elizabeth Wakefield for an 8-year-old. We
It's
have to address
amazing. We've
this.
never had anything
They're
like
like,
this.
this
We have
is
to
the
talk to you about this.
best, incredible erotica. We would like to, can we self-publish? And then can we do a deal with a big publisher?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I got there, but the point is, I really was intrigued by Leisure Suit Larry because I was like, they do sex in that game, I bet. I need to know more. And my parents were like, no, you don't. You're already writing weird ass sexual fan fiction, you little weirdo.
I
I've
have
told
a
this
friend
story.
that played Leisure Suit Larry as a kid, and it was that his mom played it first. And
Hey, this is my story.
oh, really? Oh,
Ben, you're stealing my good story that I've told like 9 times on the podcast already. No, this was my story. Like my mom, when I was 12, gave me a copy of Leisure Suit Larry 1 for my 12th birthday.
Oh my
And I
God.
came to find out later that she had opened it up and played it start to finish, like while I was at school, to see if like she was okay with me having it. And then at the end of it was like, yep, this all checks out. Let's give it to the 12-year-old and like full steam ahead, which looking back, again, I have a daughter that age and I haven't encouraged her to play Leisure Suit Larry. I know exactly what's in that game, and that's why I haven't. It's like she has the internet; she will find things out her own way. But yeah, my mom just like, yeah, I don't see anything objectionable in this game with with sex and drug use and casual racism.
Was she like smoking a cig the whole time? Like, was she?
1000%. Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
I'm not giving him my cigarettes. So why can't he have
Yes.
this?
I
Give him
think
this
just
next year. He
blasting with
gets
secondhand smoke.
when he's in ninth grade. He gets a Playboy. Whatever. It's seventh grade. It's a terrible accent. That's definitely not your mom's accent, whatever it may be. I don't even know what I was doing there. But like that's very that era of parenting though, I think. Was
Yeah.
just like, well, like my parents like, well, these like arbitrary rules for like, okay, so what? Like our parents, like I feel like our parents' generation probably raised by people who either lived through the depression or were like deeply influenced by it, and so they
Hmm.
were traumatized. Their parents had gone through wars, like they had lived through these really, not that our parents' generation did, but it was a bit different. And so like our parents' generation was like, okay, so how do I perform adulthood even though like I've seen TV shows that say that I should think more about me? I don't wait, how does this work? I want to raise my kids, but there's not an internet available to tell me how to do it yet. I guess I'll read Dr. Spock and let the
Hmm.
kid try a cigarette to teach him that it's bad. Like they would do shit like that. Like, well, if you try the beer, you won't like it and then you'll never drink it again. Cut to, I think you liked it. But Leisure Suit Larry, she had probably seen. I mean, Leisure Suit Larry is like soft. It's
Yeah, I
not
mean,
hardcore. Like
it's
it's like
juvenile.
funny. It's
Like,
juvenile.
yeah, it is a 12-year-old's idea of what a dirty game would be. I think,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, it is not like proper pornography like you were writing about the Sweet Valley Twins.
Yeah.
Well, I was really going. I was like, this is hardcore. But they and I just want to say they were not hooking up with each other.
No, obviously
They
not.
had boyfriends at
Yeah.
school. Everybody who's listening, call. But like, yeah,
Yeah,
your
we'll
mom
get
probably
letters.
was. Yeah, you'll get letters from all the parents listening with their 5-year-olds. This is inappropriate.
All the church groups that play this every Sunday.
Your mom probably had a great. Oh yeah, they do. Meet me at the flagpole, and then we're gonna listen to this
This
before school
is
every day. We're gonna pray, and then we're gonna listen to Quest.
there are several churches that we have a partnership with that
Oh, thank
play this
God.
podcast, and
Mosaic
then
Hillsong.
and then they all pray on it.
Yeah.
They
As
discuss everything we've covered. It's very
as
very
long
nice.
as it's celebrity churches, that's all I
Oh,
care
yeah.
about. Yeah, it's only celebrity. I want mega churches. Like if it's outside the greater Los Angeles metropolitan area, like say we're in a Houston, I'm gonna need the church to have 80,000 members, and I'm gonna need 50,000 of them to be present and paying every Sunday. I'm gonna need a 15 camera shoot. Gonna need a lot.
We're
Yeah.
working up to that.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Well, I feel
Uh,
more Christian now that we've talked about this. I feel more Christian.
so in King's Quest 4, it begins
Mm-hmm.
when your father, King Graham, has a
Mm-hmm.
heart attack.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
They will do that.
And
Those
It's a
kings.
little funny.
Yeah,
yeah,
he's like his face turns really red, I think, if I recall correctly. In my version of the game. Yeah, like some weird it's like, ah, dad. No, you're almost
cheap
dead.
version is
Weird.
extra red. And
Yeah.
and so you're sent to the or rather uh you and your brother and your mother are standing as he just lays in bed dying, and
Hmm.
then in the magic mirror, a beautiful fairy who looks very similar to you, uh
Yes.
It's
Shockingly.
it's like a narcissist's dream. It's like a sapphic narcissist's dream. Who's this hot chick who looks exactly like me?
and
Telling
she's
me
got
what to
magic
do.
powers, but she's
Hmm.
also dying.
Yeah. She's also dying because she
As a
caught
yeah.
the itis. Why is she dying? It's because people don't believe. Why the fuck is she dying? She's
They
a
aren't
magic
clapping
fairy.
for her.
She
Yeah, they're clapping for her.
the Lolo, the evil witch,
Oh, right. The
stole.
evil witch who's very much stolen from
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz. She
Yeah.
herself is stealing from
Yes.
Janesta.
And so Janesta is like, all right, well, on this island, There's a magic fruit that will probably save your dad. Also, I'm dying. Also, there's an evil witch here. Here's the thing that always so the spine of the game is that you eventually run into the evil, like pretty early. You run into the evil witch Lolo, and she's like, you have to get these 3 things for me, and I'll let you free, and I'll give you an incredible reward. And I remember as a kid being like, so you're just gonna do what she says? Like
Yes.
that was a real sticking point for me. Now the game's narration makes the point, like, you don't believe her, but I surely you'll think of something to stop her later. So the game's like, yeah, no, it's good. Go get the things for the evil witch who's like, yeah, this will help me take over the world. But even as a kid, like I'm playing and I'm like, why am I helping the evil witch?
It's a great
Because Al
question.
Lowe was tired. He was like, they were on week 3 of that month, and he was like, "Fuck it, God damn, we got an IPO coming up. Just
Yeah.
roll with it. Put the
Can
text
I
in that
just put
says."
can I just put one text box that says she realizes she's getting played here? Will that be good enough? Is that sufficient?
They're
Yeah.
like,
Or this,
absolutely.
a bunch of kids are playing this. They can't even read.
They're like, everyone there hates kids. I mean, fucking hate kids.
Ah,
Why do we work
ugh.
here? Ah, we work at
Uh,
Apple, but they're going nowhere fast. So we'll work
the
at Sierra
They're going back to the
Online.
garage.
Ah.
the game is also fairly arbitrary. It doesn't give you like at one point you have to get the bridle for the unicorn,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hidden on an island, but
That
you
was
can
hard
only
for me.
it's hard for everyone.
It's not visible on screen.
It's just
It's
like,
just like
what?
hidden in a shipwreck. It's like you have to know a bridle's there at some level to get it.
You have to be
Yeah.
swallowed by a whale.
Hmm.
With human teeth.
The
Yeah.
whale has human teeth. You have to climb up the whale. The whale has there's a maze on the whale's tongue of climbing
Yes.
up the whale's tongue, which I remember figuring that out as a kid and being like, wow, I climbed the whale's tongue.
I did it. You did it, Queequeg. You made it happen. Now you're the survivor.
The whale vomits you
Yeah.
on
Oh, you have to tickle its
yeah,
uvula
you have
with a
to,
feather,
which
Mhm.
I think.
that's why I know how to spell uvula.
Same.
I think
Teaching
that's
us.
why many people know how to spell uvula.
Hmm.
The whale vomits you on an island. Does a whale also? The whale has human teeth. Do whales also have uvulas?
I'm looking it up right now
Thank
because
I
you.
as
don't
soon
believe they
as we
do.
were talking about that, I said inside my head, "Wait, do whales have uvulas?" You guys, I am the research assistant for the show
Thank you.
because
I'm glad.
I think that my job should be because I love looking things up. So
Mhm.
I think that you guys are going to pay me like what 200K a year for this plus
Yes,
That's the
bonus.
standard.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Thank
industry standard.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is industry. That's the union agreement.
Yeah.
I
Industry
would.
standard for
Whales
research.
don't have uvulas,
Yeah. Well, this one
but
does. The magic
they,
well.
but guess what? Baleen whales, like blue and humpback whales, have a specialized anatomical flap in their throats called an oral plug. Just keep
Wow.
practicing, lady. You'll forget it's there. Real Leisure Suit Larry kind of remark to make. Maybe I should write the game.
Hmm.
Mm.
I think if I were at the top of that tongue, I would have done like a little comedy bit with like some speed bag work on the uvula, like really.
do a little
Tap dancing.
props.
Yeah.
Do a little
Yes.
prop comedy.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, yeah, you gotta have fun on an adventure.
Like
You can't just.
hold a string up and be like, look, it's a balloon. Like, a little who's line props game.
I
Yes.
love
Oh,
that.
it's a thought. It's a big red thought bubble. I'm trying my best here.
10,000
It's not.
points.
Yeah.
Thank
I mean,
you.
you have to think of how like just terrifying it would be to be in the midst of being ingested and soon to be digested by a whale. I mean, Rosella's only thinking about her own survival. She doesn't have time for prop comedy, only if it
That's
saves her
true.
life.
And this is the layer of the game that I've been hoping we would get to because it is about the Bible. because
Mm-hmm.
it is about how we can suffer, and it is about how we can endure, how the Leviathan can swallow us whole. And if we are covered in his love and smothered in his blessings and scattered in his joy, we can climb up the tongue of that whale to a piece of it that isn't there. And as
Take
Christ's
it on faith.
warriors, we take it on faith. And because here's the thing, gentlemen, our God is an awesome God, and he reigns from heaven above, but he is in there in the whale's non-existent uvula with us. And when we get puked out by that whale who has an eating disorder, and it's sad, but the 80s were a different time about, we didn't have these conversations about body neutrality. That's when I saw Christ in that game. And that is when I had my conversion experience.
Wow.
Yes,
Was it
thank
when you
you.
only saw one set of footprints in the whale vomit?
It sure was. And that's when I knew
Thank
that
you.
lady's ugly gay son had carried me. Now, he was blushing not because he loved her, but I think that he was a closeted homosexual. And this is why I think that, because I decided it just now. And I think that Lot's son, it's just such a fucking diva, and he doesn't get to be room to be him. And he knows that Rosella is very inclusive and accepting, because why? She forgot the lesson of the whale and veered away from Christ. And that's why I'm really excited that Quest is going to be at our Lord and Christ in Recovery Hillside Fun Times Camp all summer long.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I can't wait. We're flying down there, flying straight to Texas, and we're going to be doing that.
We're with Pastor Osteen, who we love so much, with his beautiful teeth. He doesn't have human teeth anymore, but that whale does. He has veneers, and they're beautiful. He has a plane. Ben, do you feel more like you're bathed in the light right now?
Oh,
How are
yeah.
you feeling?
I'm totally bathed in the light right now. Where's my phone?
Do you feel ready for a traditional marriage with me personally?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
let's do it.
Wow.
Thank
Well,
God.
you know, gang, I don't want to make this awkward, but I was just ordained a week ago to perform a wedding for a friend. So, I mean,
Yay!
Oh, how
I
fun.
can make this happen.
There we go.
I have to call my best friends at Ballerina Farm first, and I'm going to have all the girls there. And I'm really excited to be Ben's trad wife, and I'm really excited just for you to unite us.
No, I mean, I think I could do a beautiful ceremony.
I think you would do a great job. Actually, you have a very good speaking voice. You're very funny.
Thank you.
I think you'd be a great pastor person.
Well, thank you. I mean, I think I'm low on faith, but I think I've got a lot of heart.
And a lot of pizzazz.
The pizzazz is really important.
Yeah, no, I've been working on my pizzazz.
Ben, what religious messages did you derive from King's Quest 4?
Great question.
Spiritually.
Well, you know, I was thinking about the mummy and traditional, like, historic performances of, like, ancient Egyptian faith.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like Amun Ra.
Yeah, that's what I was pulling from when I was playing the game, and I saw the mummy, and because it's actually, as you know, the three of us know, Egypt was in communion with aliens that came here, like, from way far. They helped build the pyramids and the obelisks.
Humans couldn't have done that.
And whatnot. And so, like, you know, one might have asked, like, you know, someone could have said earlier in this podcast, why is there a mummy in a Western style crypt? But, like, as we know, that the mummies were seated here by these, you know, all powerful aliens that have been visiting us. They've been influencing society for the past, I would say, about 3,000 years.
Yeah, leaving their crystal skulls behind.
Yeah, leaving crystal skulls.
Absolutely.
Leaving Last Crusades.
Fridge,
leaving Temples of Doom. What was Dials of Destiny?
Dials of Destiny everywhere. Yeah.
And
Gates of Atlantis.
and so like, you know, Roberta, when she was designing the game, placed the mummy there, you know, as a signal to let those of us who are aware of
Whose eyes are open.
yeah,
Yeah.
my third eye is open, my mummy eye.
Right.
And you know, so that's like, you know, that's her signal of, because Roberta is going to ascend up to uh you know, Persei Lexitron 3
That's correct. That's
in
correct.
in a
As
couple
foretold.
years.
Yeah, and
And
that's what's on the dollar
that's
too.
what's on that
Also,
is, well, if
right.
you
Yes.
fold the dollar in a
Mhm.
specific
Mhm.
way, you can
Yeah.
see it. And it also says that Roberta will be the first to join our benevolent overseers, you know,
The first
way.
of precisely 144,000.
That's right. So yeah, that's what I got out of the game.
That's so beautiful. Can I tell you how nice it is to be here with two truth tellers who really get it? Because
Finally, someone with a podcast who isn't afraid to tell the truth.
Yeah.
someone who will tell the truth that a lot of people won't, you know, and I'm not talking about like fluoride in drinking water. I'm not talking about that. That's basic level shit. I'm talking about what we're getting into here. And I don't know if the government is going to let this information, you know, go out there unchecked. But I do know that as a Christ warrior, I grew up understanding that when that Egyptian alien found Moses in that little baby basket, that one day, through his love and grace, and by his, I mean hers, I mean Roberta Williams, who is our God and Savior, there would come to be a game called King's Quest IV. And about 40 years after it came out, we would all be sitting here talking to each other, making complete sense in a way that will positively attract, impact, and energize a very mainstream audience. Speaking the
Yeah.
language of the people, just like who did Jesus and Moses and Roberta and Ken, to a lesser degree, Williams. I think that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Wow. I mean, can you imagine how many updates there are going to have to be to the King's Quest IV Wikipedia page when this goes live on the dark web next week?
I cannot imagine. And the people are going to do the work. I mean, I think what we've done here is, first of all, a complete through line that makes absolute sense
That's
chronologically
the
for a
main thing.
podcast. That's what people
Yeah.
come here for. Second of all, um, we've queered and decolonized, but then also dipped in the blood of his love and salvation, King's Quest IV, and all of popular culture ultimately. So we've really done that's intersectionality, if you want a
Mm-hmm.
definition. We just
Mm-hmm.
did it. Okay. We appealed to every voting bloc. Ben brought up the Egyptians. He's appealing to people who don't even live here in America, the only country. You know, so I feel really good.
So on the topic of them doing things in a very slow and slapdash way, I do want to note something that really made me laugh when I watched the video of the log play earlier today, which is the final message of the game, which was, so you get you get back to Daventry, you give your dad the magic fruit.
If you do this properly, you can just eat that fruit and he just dies. Like, that's an option in the game. Rosella can just be like, nom, nom, nom. I feel great. I've never felt better in my life.
Oh,
My
I love
sinuses
that.
are cleared up, cured all of my allergies.
It's so great.
And
And then
Dad,
he
yeah,
dies, and then she inherits a beautiful castle.
yeah. Plus, she
Big
looked
deal.
at diamonds. Yeah,
But
she's got a castle now.
if you get the good ending, the I didn't eat the fruit that would save my dad ending,
The good person ending. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
this is the final dialogue box of the game. So Graham's like, all right, I feel great, thank you. And then it shows the graphic of Roberta Williams that shows when you die. And it just says, so all's well that ends well. Until next time. That's it. Now,
With a tear in my eye, I read this dialogue box, and say thank you, Roberta.
Thank
Now,
you, Roberta.
now, Sarah, you've written a couple books, and I looked them up, and I noticed that's how all of your books end.
They do. In fact, that's how my memoir, Agorafabulous, Dispatches from My Bedroom, my young adult novel, Great, my novel for adults, DC Trip, and my book of humorous essays and wacky but fun, relatable wisdom. Real artists have day jobs and other awesome things they don't teach you in school. All available on some corner of your internet, or go to your independent bookseller and say, order this for me. That is how they all end, and that is how Abraham fucking Lincoln will end as well.
So,
All's well that ends well.
Until next time.
And that's actually what John Wilkes Booth said after he shot him with a Philadelphia Derringer and jumped onto broke his leg, probably jumped onto the stage. People say he said Sic Semper Tyrannis, which is of course, associated with the death of Julius Caesar, the murder, also the state motto of Virginia. That's not actually what he said. What he actually said was, well, all's well that ends well. See you next time. And the crowd of approximately 1,500 people at Ford's Theater was like, what the fuck? And then he just got on a horse and he went off to star in the acclaimed television series Manhunt. The Hunt for Lincoln's Killer, which was a book first.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then John Wilkes Booth's older brother, Edwin Booth, a Union sympathizer, actually is Roberta Williams' father.
Wow.
She was born when he was very old. It was a love child, like a change of life baby, in that he was 150 and should be dead, but instead he bothered her.
It's beautiful. It's like poetry. It rhymes.
I've been sober for almost 8 years. I just want to say that. And a lot of what I'm doing here, I think is, almost 8 years of compacted not drinking. Emerging in what sounds like a drunken tirade, I think, in the playback. I mean, God bless whichever one of you edits this.
That's me.
I owe you a dinner because this is going to be a rough one.
No, I usually keep most of it.
Yeah.
That's terrible. I'm so sorry to the listeners but also you're welcome, They've waded through this. Oof. Oof. Jess, I'm sorry. I know we have to end it and you guys are in charge of hosting, but I need to know if Jess took any spiritual messages from this.
Oh my gosh. I think that there are spiritual messages everywhere for those who have the eyes to see them and the ears to hear them.
Wow.
And, I like to keep both of those open.
Oh, that was so beautiful.
Thank you. No, I mean your message of hope and salvation just really touched me. So yeah, thank you.
God. I mean, I love dissociating on this podcast with you guys.
That's what we do every week.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
So is there anything else we want to say about King's Quest 4 before we close the book?
I mean, as the advertisements asked, can a computer game make a person cry? That was the tagline they had for this game. And,
yes.
Absolutely. I cried real tears watching Graham nearly bite it at the beginning of the game. I cried tears of laughter today talking about it. So I do believe a computer game can make a person cry because it made me cry. And I've never cried in my life until now.
Wow. That's your third eye opening up just like Ben's.
Yeah. It's full of tears. As soon as it opened, I was just streaming straight down my nose.
Mm-hmm. When I was feeling a little low earlier, I was watching that walkthrough. I didn't watch all 2 hours. I think I watched 3 minutes, but I texted Ben and I was like, I might cry on the podcast because I thought maybe I would get really emotional talking about like what it meant to me. That didn't happen. What happened instead was a different thing. I'm not sure that. I think I was channeling the whole time. I think I was a vessel for someone's opinions. I don't know whose. I stand by them and disown all of them all at once. I derailed things several times. I spoke over the hosts. I laughed a lot, sometimes silently, which you could see, but the listeners, because this is auditory, I believe this
Mm-hmm.
medium is podcast typically,
Mhm.
sometimes video,
Mm-hmm.
but this is for the ears. They don't know that there was also a lot of violence happening on all of our screens that they
Mhm.
won't know about.
Yeah.
We fought
Well,
off intruders many times, all of us.
well, Sarah, for confessing your sins as your confessor, you have to say 3 Hail Marys or
Mm-hmm.
Our Fathers,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to put $25 in the little donation bucket. We're gonna
We
replace
have
it
a
with a
bucket? We have a
A
bucket?
we're
bucket?
gonna get that replaced. It fell apart, so it's a bucket right now.
Really?
All right, now
I
go in
do
love
think
and
we
service.
started a church. This is awesome. Like, I feel like we started a church tonight. I know I just walked right over something you were saying, Ben. I'm so
Yeah, no
sorry.
worries.
No.
But I do feel like we could like incorporate, was that a 501c3? Is that what that is? Or
Ah,
I forget what
yeah.
the code is, but we could make this whole deal nonprofit and
That would
Well,
be
make
this is
fantastic because we're
absolutely nonprofit.
yeah, it runs at a small loss currently. Yeah,
Diana,
like
I was told I was getting a fee. Excuse me? She is going to die tonight.
This is an extreme nonprofit for sure.
yeah.
That's the
Well,
best. It's the most fun.
thank you so much, Sarah. Where can people find you online?
Wow. Um, you can go to sarahjbenincasa.substack.com, where I have a newsletter called Serotonin. I'm also on Patreon, patreon.com/Sarah Benincasa. I'm also on Instagram. That is the social media that I am most often on. Even though I'm much better with words than pictures. So it's sort of counterintuitive. Although, if you've listened to this podcast all the way through, you may disagree with my apparent assertion that I'm good with words. So, Sarah J. Benincasa on Instagram. And you can also find my books in places. And I feel more alive now than I did before.
Hidden little nooks and crannies, hidden under the bridge, like where that magic golden ball is in the
The
game.
golden
Ooh, the
ball.
golden ball. If anybody who's listening thinks that King's Quest V is good, I would like to have them make a case about that. I'm not disagreeing with them, but I was just never able to really crack it. And so I'm open to dialogue about that. Not personally, do not speak to me one on one, but post something about it and don't tag me, and eventually I'll find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just
Yeah.
post King's Quest 5 thoughts somewhere, and one
Yeah, and
day
it'll be shoot to the top of their SEO because it's not the highest in search rankings these
Yeah.
days.
And search rankings matter more today than ever.
Mhm.
They matter
So
more than they did in 1988. I will say that much.
absolutely true.
Yeah.
actually, well, I'm gonna push back on both of you. I think search
Wow.
rankings were really important in 1988 in like the Dewey
Yeah.
Decimal. Like, if you're going
Yes.
through a card catalog, if you opened up a card catalog and King's Quest 5 was the first card in the catalog,
hmm
you'd take it out.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
Or it,
you have just brought up library things. I think this is coming out next week, maybe.
Yeah, next Tuesday.
yes.
So, if you're in the Chicago area or you feel like traveling to Chicago for a free library event, I know you do. I am doing the American Writers Festival. I will be in
Oh.
conversation with a couple of other authors who are very good at romantasy and paranormal
Oh.
romance and the such. And I have not written in those genres, but we will be talking about rebooting classic myths and stories for the contemporary world, because I took a crack at that once upon a time with one of my novels. But anyway, so that's June 7th, Harold Washington Library, 11 a.m.
That's a
free, American
beautiful
Writers
library.
Festival.
That's
I've never been there.
beautiful.
I'm excited.
Oh, it's amazing. And go up, check out the Winter Garden on the top floor. It's really nice. And one time, a friend of mine who works at the Harold Washington Library let me go backstage at the Harold Washington Library, which is
Wow.
a fun thing to
Ooh,
say about a library, but
that's
I got to
cool.
see, that's the Central Library of Chicago. So I got to see the massive conveyor belt that books run down
I'm gonna get
for
on it.
the city interlibrary loan, and it was the coolest. It was the most like Mr. Rogers
So
thing
cool.
I'd ever seen.
Yes.
Like it was
Oh,
Oh,
just a
that's
bunch
so
of
cool.
books rolling down a conveyor belt, and there were boxes on the side, and they were all labeled with all of the neighborhood branches of the city, and like a little thing would just like boop, like knock the book down into a box where it's like, you know, Lakeview Library, bang, like
Oh my
it's like
gosh.
Chinatown Library, like pop, like it was really fun to be
I want to see
backstage
it.
at a
Oh my
library.
God. I'm going to throw a fit. I'm going to be like, listen, I'm an author and definitely not one of your bestsellers who are here. For sure, not a big name author and not one of the most famous ones that brought people in. But I have demands, and my publicist
Mhm.
Diana is here, and she really fucked up Quest for me. So I told her, "You better get me a guaranteed conveyor belt ride, Diana, at the
Yeah, you get
Harold
to
Washington
actually,
Library."
yeah, and if you're really nice, they let you ride the conveyor belt.
I'm going to tell them
That's the
you said
dream.
that. I'm going to say this was given to me by somebody whose third eye is open, who knows a lot about Egypt and mummies and
Anyway,
aliens.
thank you for listening to Quest, the adventure game podcast. Rate and review 5 stars. You can send us an email at questquestpodcast@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
And you can join us next week when we discuss Space Quest 4.
Wow.
Oh, you said, hold on. You said, wow. Does that mean
Mm-hmm.
anything? Have you ever played that?
I tried to play a Space Quest or two in my
Mm-hmm.
day. It's been so long, but I just love that you're doing another Sierra online game. That's so cool.
We're never going to do a Space Quest 4. It's a horrible
Really?
tease.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
Yeah.
real.